Dear students, welcome to the science class. The last week we have completed the second lesson and hope all of you have written the notes in the notebook. And today we will see the third lesson, agriculture. So today we will see what is agriculture and what are the steps involved in the agriculture. So in India, agriculture is the main occupation of the people. Okay. Majority of the people in India directly or indirectly depend on agriculture. So we will see what is the meaning of agriculture first. What is the meaning of agriculture? What is meant by agriculture? So before that we see what is a crop. What is a crop? Crop is a plant that is cultivated on a large scale, that is grown on a large scale. If we grow a plant in large amount, we call that one as a crop. Okay? If we grow a plant on a large scale, we call that as a crop. And what is agriculture? That is cultivation of soil for growing plants. That is called agriculture. Cultivation of soil, that means preparation of soil for growing crops to obtain food and other raw materials. That is known as agriculture. Okay? And from agriculture we get many things. We get food items like wheat, rice, vegetables, fruits. Then we get cotton, jute, etc. Okay? So we get many things by cultivating many crops. Okay. Then horticulture. What is meant by horticulture? Horticulture means gardening. Gardening flowers and gardening vegetables, that all comes under horticulture. Then livestock rearing. What is meant by livestock rearing? Livestock rearing means domesticating and looking after the cattle. Cattle like cow, goats, buffaloes, etc. That is meant by livestock rearing. And fisheries, and we grow fish at home and in fish ponds. We produce fish, that also comes under agriculture. That are parts of agriculture. Horticulture, livestock rearing and fisheries also part of agriculture. So next we see steps involved in agriculture. Next we see the steps involved in agriculture. First step is plowing the field. Plow the field. We plow the field using tractor or oxen. Nowadays we are using machines for plowing the field. What happens during plowing? When we plow a field, what happens? The soil turns over. The soil turns over. When the soil tilts, we can see some stones or unwanted plants called weeds. So we have to remove that stones and weeds. Okay. First we have to prepare the field for cultivation. For that we have to plow the field. Plowing is done with the help of tractor or oxen. Oxen is the plural of ox. Nowadays we use only tractors. After that we remove the stones and unwanted plants, that are weeds. Then we make the field for ready to sow the seeds. Okay. So after preparing the soil, after preparing the field, we have to add some manures and fertilizers to the soil. So what is the need of adding fertilizers and manures to the soil? Why do we add fertilizers and manures like cow dung and chemical fertilizers? These fertilizers and manures provide nutrients to the soil that make the soil fertile. So in order to make the soil fertile, we are adding manures and fertilizers. And the next step is sowing the seeds. Okay. The seeds are scattered in the field. That will be dispersed in the field, that will be scattered in the field. The seeds are scattered in the field, that is called sowing. So after scattering the seeds, when we keep a seed in the soil, after that what do? We water it, isn't it? We have to provide water to the seed, then only it grows. Okay, so like that after sowing the seeds in the field, we have to water the field. We have to water the field. The watering of field is known as irrigation. The watering of field is known as irrigation. And where do we get water for irrigation? We get water from rain. So most of the farmers depend on rain for irrigation. Then if there is no rain and if there is no availability of rainwater, we adopt water from tanks, canals, wells, etc. Okay, if there is no rain, we take water from tanks, canals, wells, etc. to water the field, water the seeds. So after watering, the crops grow, isn't it? The crops grow. So there is a chance of attack of pests and insects like rats. Okay, so we have to protect the crop from insects and pests. For that, what the farmers do? They spray insecticides and pesticides to kill the insects and pests. Okay, to protect the crop from pests and insects, we have to spray insecticides and pesticides. Then the next process is harvesting. That is the next process. When the grains are ripened, what to do? When the grains are ripened and when the crop is mature, we cut and gather the crops. We cut and gather the crops. And for cutting and gathering the crops, we use sickles and scythes. And nowadays, we are not using these equipments. We are not using these tools. We are using machines for harvesting the crops. When the crop is mature, we harvest the crops. Okay. After that, what to do? We have to remove the grains from the stalks, from the straws or from the stalks. And for that, we adopt a method, threshing. We adopt a method, threshing. What is threshing? Threshing is the process of separating grains from husks and straws by beating them on a hard surface, beating them on a floor or a rock. That time the grains will be separated from the straws, and that grains contain husk and other dirt particles that should be removed. And for that we take another method, winnowing. What is winnowing? Winnowing is the process of removing husk particles, that are lighter particles from heavier particles. Heavier particles are grains with the help of wind. We can let the wind or we can keep a fan to get the wind. So in the presence of wind, we remove the husk particles from the grain. Allow the grains to fall from certain height in the presence of wind. That time what happens? The lighter particles, that are the husk particles, are blown away and the heavier particles will be falling straight, and the husk particles, that are lighter particles, they are blowing away from the grains. Like that we can remove the husk and dirt particles from the grains. Okay. So after removing the dirt and husk particles, we have to collect that one in the godown. We have to collect that one in the godown in sacks, in gunny bags, or in wooden box, or in the cardboard. So that are the steps involved in the process of agriculture. Okay. So the steps involved in agriculture. The first one is plowing. So you can look at the picture, you can see using a tractor and using an oxen, we can plow the soil. Okay. So this is tractor and this is oxen. Okay. So use a tractor or oxen to plow the field. That time the soil turns over, and pick out the stones and weeds from the soil. After that, add manure and fertilizers to the soil to make it fertile. And second step is sowing. So after adding fertilizers and manures, we have to sow the seeds. We have to scatter the seeds in the field. So the scattering of seeds is known as sowing. Okay. Next step is irrigation. So after sowing the seeds, we have to water it, watering the field. That is called irrigation. Process of watering the fields. Water the sown seeds, and the farmers depend on rainfalls, water from tanks, wells and canals for irrigation. And to protect the crops from insects and pests, we have to spray insecticides and pesticides, okay, that kill the insects and pests. Then we have to remove the unwanted plants. Okay. Then next step is harvesting. When the crop is mature, farmers cut and gather it. When the grains are ripened, when the crop is mature, we have to cut and collect it, and this process is called harvesting, and for that farmers use sickle, scythes and machines. Okay. Then the next step is threshing. Separate grains from husk and straws by beating on the floor, or we can use machine. See this, the harvested crop is this one, and this man is beating this harvested crop on the rock, on the floor, or this, okay, or on any hard surface we can beat. That time the grains will be separated and the straws will be left. Okay. The next one that you are familiar with this one, your mothers are doing at home, that is called winnowing. We are separating the lighter particles from the heavier particles. So we remove husk from grains by using winnowing. We allow wind to blow and remove the lighter particles. Okay. After winnowing, we store the grains in the godown, in sacks or in cardboards. Okay. So that are the steps involved in the agriculture. Okay, next one, you have to write these notes in the notebook. Okay, write in the notebook. Only this you have to write in the notebook. The first question, write two differences between plowing by a tractor and oxen. Answer, plowing by a tractor saves time and energy. Plowing by oxen takes more time. Working with machines is faster than working with the help of animals. So nowadays we are using only machines. Then why do farmers use insecticides and pesticides? Write one disadvantage of using them. Farmers use insecticides and pesticides to kill insects and pests. They are absorbed by the soil and the soil gets polluted. When we spray insecticides and pesticides, it kills the pest, but at the same time it pollutes the soil. Okay. Then you have to learn these answers and also read the textbook minimum 3 times. Okay. If you don't know to read well, you have to read more times. Okay. So that's the end of the class. Okay. Thank you.